Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my dad my dog after his emotional support animal passed away? I, 24M, have a dog, Max, a 5-year-old golden retriever I've had since he was a little puppy, about a year or so before COVID. Max is like family to me. I work from home, so most of the time we're together. He's super friendly and cute, honestly the best dog I could have ever asked for. Recently, my dad, 57M, lost his emotional support dog, Bella, due to old age. He got Bella a couple years after my mum passed away, and she truly helped him through his grief and anxiety. Since Bella passed away, he's been struggling a lot. My siblings and I have been doing what we can to support him, but nothing seems to help. A week ago, my dad came over for dinner. He spent the entire time cuddling with Max. Later, he asked me if I'd consider letting him have Max since they bonded so well. He said he could really use a dog like Max to help him cope. I feel awful saying no. I told him Max is my child and a huge part of my life. It would be really hard, and I just can't do that. I even offered to help him find a new dog or cover the adoption fees, but he insists it's not the same. My siblings think I'm being selfish, in that Max could really help Dad during this hard time. One even suggested that I should think about what Mum would have wanted. Now, my dad has started dropping hints about Max every time I see him. It's really getting hard for me, and it's tough because I can't just give up Max. He's been such a big part of my life. I can't imagine losing him, but it also makes me feel like I'm being a horrible son. Am I the a-hole for not being willing to give up my dog even if it could help my dad? It's very sad what your dad is going through, but in my opinion, Max isn't an emotional support toy who should just be passed around to the saddest person. He's lived with you his whole life, and it wouldn't be fair to Max to just change that because your dad thinks he needs him. G-Day Barb makes a great point in the comments. There are shelters overflowing with dogs who just want to love someone. Take him to one. You can save a life while helping your dad pick his own dog. The next story is an update on a post I covered in a previous episode, so I'll leave a link to that in the comments just in case you haven't seen it. Obviously, it's very likely that many of you haven't, so I'll do a quick recap and be as concise as possible. So, OP and her husband were watching a movie when he decided to go to the toilet. He knocked repeatedly before he went in, which even OP heard, but he got no response, so he entered, but his stepdaughter was getting changed while listening to music. He apologised profusely and ran out, but the daughter decided to tell their family and spin the narrative to seem like he didn't knock and just wanted to see her naked. The family made his life hell, blowing his phone up with disgusting accusations, calling his parents and his work to try and ruin his life. OP knows the truth and was horrified by her family's reaction, even after telling them repeatedly that their daughter was lying. Eventually, once their daughter realised the gravity of the situation, she did admit to the rest of the family that she was lying. They believed her and have been trying to make things right with the husband, but he's so ashamed of what happened that he wants to get a divorce and leave their lives forever, as he's concerned they'll always have this unhinged, creepy pervert view of him. OP is absolutely devastated by this, and she is telling her daughter she will have to move out of her house if she gets divorced because of her lies after her stepdad saw her naked. Okay, onto the post. Hello everyone. It's been a while and I see a bunch of people asking for updates. I wasn't in the mood and I've been crying myself to sleep every night. I don't know what to do anymore. I lost my husband, my family, and my daughter. It's official, I'm getting divorced. I was served with the divorce papers and my husband wants nothing to do with us anymore. I've moved out of the house and I'm currently staying with a friend until I can get my life back in order. I have completely cut contact with my family, but they still try and get into contact with me from different numbers or from different profiles on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know how long I can continue to stay with my friend because her life is now being impacted as well, with my family members just showing up at her apartment. I want to get a different place to stay, but my salary won't be able to cover everything I need. My husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, covered all our bills previously, but now I have to do everything myself. My daughter just packed her things over a week ago and moved away. I don't know where she is at the moment, and her friends are refusing to tell me anything. She tried to talk to my soon-to-be ex-husband and he got a restraining order against her. She violated the order and he got her arrested. I don't know what went on in her head. I tried to talk to her, but she is just saying that she will fix everything. My daughter will have to drop out of college because my ex is now refusing to continue covering anything else for her and retracted his offer to continue paying for her tuition. He sent me a message saying he's done. I didn't respect his wishes, so I had to get out of his house immediately. My daughter also went against his wishes, so he is retracting everything from her as well. She is now on her own. He said if I or my daughter continue harassing him, he will open up a case against my daughter for defamation. I don't have enough money for myself at the moment with my job and all the bills, so I definitely can't assist her. She packed up in the middle of the night and just left after I told her she will have to drop out and get a job. My soon-to-be ex-husband became completely emotionless and cold the last couple of weeks and refuses to talk to me about anything other than the divorce. He said he would have been supportive and assisted us for a while until we could get back on our feet, but it was clear we only wanted to use him for his generosity, so he is done. He wanted to void the prenup we have, but will now follow the prenup to the letter, meaning I will basically get nothing in the divorce. I don't even want anything, I just want him back. Even with everything that's happened, I still want my husband, the kind, caring, sweet man I had, and I want him back. I need him to come back. I told him my daughter moved out of the house and asked again if we could try and fix our marriage, but he didn't even respond. The last message I got from him was him asking if I got a lawyer yet to look over the divorce papers. He said he wants to be done with this and move on because it's clear to him now that no one in my family, including me, respect him at all. In that message, he also said I should get my family to back off because they're still harassing him with messages, calls and emails and he's sick of it. If they don't stop, he will report them as well. To the people that keep asking me why I didn't do anything when the lies started to spread, I did everything I could. They then just accused me of protecting my creep of a husband, even when I showed them the security camera footage of the incident. I can't imagine there'll be another update, that seems quite definitive. It's honestly mind-blowing how badly one lie has affected everyone involved. There is also a great comment by Comfortable Image, which I'd like to include. I totally understand that this is terrible on everyone, and that you want your husband back. Fair. The problem is, that man is gone. I don't mean that your husband has moved on or moved out, but that the damage that was done to him by your daughter and family has caused the man that you loved to be torn apart. That man you once knew no longer exists. Your ex-husband has been changed, fighting for his reputation, character, and his freedom. What's left is the man still trying to protect himself, and the only way he can do that is creating legal boundaries. Boundaries that you, your daughter, and your family are continuing to break. If you love the man that once was, let the man go. Let him try to salvage his life. He can't do that unless you stop. Would I be the a-hole for spraying some kid with my garden hose daily after he walks all over our lawn? I, 37M, live with my wife, 37F, and son and daughter, 9 and 11 respectively. Recently, there has been this kid who comes by our house after playing soccer and either rides his bike or walks over the lawn with his cleats on his way home. It started out as me giving him stern looks whenever I saw him, then it slowly progressed to me asking him to just go around. The last time I asked him to stop, he made a point to stomp extra hard and twist his feet into the grass to piss me off. Since then, I've just been hosing him. The first time I sprayed him with the hose, he ran off, but then for some reason, he just started standing there while I hose him like he's enjoying it. It's now progressed to me sitting on my lawn chair, pointing my hose at him, and him just staring at me while he does so. Sometimes we even make small talk. I'm not gonna lie, it started off as a really bitter relationship, but I've actually gotten to know the kid quite well. We talk for maybe 15 to 20 minutes every day, and he doesn't seem to mind being hosed down after sweating hard playing soccer. He comes by daily and we just shoot the shit while I hose him and he stands there for a bit. My wife told me I need to stop. Even after I explained it to her, she said I'm making us look like childish idiots. I guess I could stop. But honestly, it's really funny waiting for him to come by, and I see no harm in it. Would I be the a-hole? Does seem maybe a bit weird. I'm just curious to know what his parents' opinions are of it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she needs to pay for childcare or I'm not going to her wedding? My 25F sister's wedding, 28F, is in a couple months. She recently sent out invitations. I was invited as a regular guest. Not a bridesmaid or maid of honour, since we live a state apart, and obviously there's a certain level of involvement and time that goes into being part of a bridal party, which I understand. I want to be there for my sister, and obviously I'd like to see her get married. The problem is, I'm a single mum. My son is 6, and when he's not at school, I need to be home watching him, so being out for hours at a time isn't really in the cards for me right now. My sister's wedding is child-free. Since it's taking place in her state, I'd need to commute, and I'd probably have to be gone from my house for 2 full days. I can't have family watch my son since they'll all be at the wedding, and I don't really have friends who will babysit for 2 days. I contacted my sister and asked if she'd be willing to let my son come to the wedding with me, and explained he couldn't be left alone so young and that I didn't have anyone to watch him. She responded by telling me her no children policy was strict and she wouldn't make exceptions. I explained my situation again and said I'd need some form of childcare or to bring him with me. I then asked if she would pay me to hire a nanny or babysitter to watch him. She got offended and said children and weddings are both parts of life, and I need to just figure it out, it's my kid, my problem. Which, sure, that's true, but also, her wedding, her making it a problem by not allowing me to bring my kid. I told her she could either pay for my child support or I wouldn't be going to her wedding, which all she did was call me ridiculous and entitled. She said she shouldn't have to pay for my child, and that being an adult is knowing how to take care of that kind of thing. I think that's ridiculous. Money is tight, childcare is expensive. I can't magically afford for someone to watch my 6-year-old, and most people would just let me bring him to the wedding. My sister says she's definitely not paying for childcare, and I guess you're not going to the wedding then. My whole family is mad at me for not being there for my sister. Am I the a-hole? In the comments, flatgreysky says, "You're the a-hole. I get where you're coming from, but you went about this all wrong. You could have said, I'm sorry, but it's not within my budget to travel so far and also arrange to pay for childcare when I get there. I send my best. Full stop. Don't ask for handouts from a stressed out bride. Is that what people do? Good lord. If she's gracious, she or the family will offer a solution. But you don't ask for that. That's where the entitlement came from. In the end, the kid is your responsibility, no one else's." Thank you very much for listening. Please leave a comment if you wish to pass judgment on any of these stories. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.